when the game landed, it was not with my conscious living, but spirit was determined in two ways. The message of the game of transformation. What is the game of transformation? It is a tool that is a spiritual undercover agent in disguise. It's like a spy for the soul, that you play a game that's fun and it's harmless. And if you don't want to take it seriously, you can just, I don't know, drink a beer and eat pizza and ask how you get a lot of money. I don't know, it's going to work anyway, because it's in divine partnership. And it's a way of saying you can get back up. You can get back up. There is a way back. I think that is a wonderful message. And if you're, because it's playful discovery, discovering some really heavy things. Heavy meaning important, the sort of things you go to a priest or counseling or prayer or a therapist for, core wounds, all of that stuff. But it says it meets everybody where they're at, and it offers them, it takes them, it doesn't get them high. The game is not about getting high, meaning feeling good, having everything with a pink bow. The game is about seeing a snapshot of where you are physically, emotionally, mentally, like that X-ray machine when you go through the airport, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vertically, horizontally. How are your relationships? How is your vertical connection? How is your radial connection? How is your fractal connection as part of the global soup? It will give you the big picture. It will give you the big picture. It will also show you your shadow land. What is in the way? If you don't change this, nothing's going to change in your life. So this is where you're stuck. You don't have to ask to be shown where you're stuck. You know, there are just setbacks in the game, obstacles in life. You make mistakes. I was reading Eileen Caddy, is one of the co-founders of Fintorn, and her guidance today, she's written a little book of guidance. It was, so if you, not her language, but if you screw up and you make a mistake, forgive yourself and move on. Move on. And when I woke up this morning and thought, what do I say in this interview? And now I've lost my notes, and it was so good. My notes were so good. Oh, sorry, can't find my wonderful notes, but something like embrace the past and let it go. Just move on, keep moving, find the flow in your life, whether that's doing a hobby you like, cooking, listening to music, something that gives you pleasure, and will help you bring in the soul vibe. So the other thing I want to say, because I realize I've gone all over the place, the thing I really want to stress is the future isn't set in stone. It wasn't set in stone for me or the wonderful people in Kazakhstan or wherever, or for you or for anyone listening to this. We're living in an ever-shifting matrix, and never has that been more true than these days. I mean, this century, we're the beginning of a new century, and we're squeezing through, I don't mean to sound negative, but the horrible 25 years of the first century, as opposed to the culmination, the best of 1975, 1875, 1775. So I think the beginning of every century, there's a few people who are gateway people, and most of the people are floundering, and things are still collapsing, and you're still collapsing, and I'm still collapsing, and it goes on. But out of that, something entirely new is going to be formed with all the social media and all the, everything. So I think that the game, as you said, it's old, it's 40 years old, but what it does still, because you play it, we redo the cards every 4 years or so. We've been doing a planetary game, like the original game at Findhorn, for a big group of people. And for that, and also different versions of the game, one-day games, group games, we look at, like the angel cards came out in 81, and then they came out again in, I can't figure it out, 2006, but it was something like the 25th anniversary of the angel cards. And I told you I'd go all over the place. The company producing them, because again, that was a choice for me and my co-originator, Kathy Tyler, was, do you want to make a lot of money and run a factory to make games? Get a lot of money if you do that. You can be a game person. Or make angels. No, we want to be creative. We want to learn more. We want to teach. My life is, I knew from when I was in my 20s, my life is a crucible. I'm an introverted person, but I have to be visible and verbal. Those are my setbacks. Visible, verbal, vulnerable. Yuck, 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 yuck. I am a person who has loved COVID, loved staying at home, loved not socializing, sitting. I usually have my camera off in Zoom. I'm a happy camper. But here I am. I have this job to do. So I was saying something about Kathy and I, do you want to make money? No, no, no. What on earth was
if you want a factory, or do you just...
Yes, no, but I was saying that cards, 40 years old. I just did an experience with people who ranged from 22 to 30. There was one 30-year-old and the rest were in their 20s, and they love the cards. Do you know what I mean? In other words, I look back now at language from World War I or World War II or the 50s or the 30s, and you go, oh, nobody would say that nowadays. Etc. We add new cards from time to time. When we did the new angel cards, hopefully everyone listening to this will rush out and buy a pack of angel cards, the updated ones. We originally did 52, and now there are 72. There are 20 new cards, and the company who makes them said, it would be nice to do a silver, 25 years is silver. We'll make the card silver on the back and bring in 20 new cards. Cassie and I went, what cards do we bring in? Because the process of putting the angels in the game took a long time. I've got lists. At some point I'll do a memoir of something, of all this, and we put cards in. Of course there's more than 52 or 72 angels. We put the qualities in that worked well in the transformation game. Like some qualities, people didn't understand what they meant, or they were too hard to express, or anyway. So we tuned into the global situation. And if you look at the 20 new cards, you'll see that they're a global situation. There's global insights, there's global setbacks, there's world work. There's a kind of synergy that goes on digitally. There is different things. So as much as we can tune in, Findhorn is having its 60th birthday in November, since Findhorn was founded.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do a game in the Universal Hall. Presumably it's safe and we're doing well with the guidelines for the country. And maybe we'll put new cards in there that no one's seen before, that just, and again, they intuitively come through. They come to me in the shower, or like when I woke up, or, it's a muse. It's a muse, which is, for me, which is like the cards I make. They are images. They're not like a mountain that's fixed. A muse moves. It's beautiful. It's haiku. It's poetry. It flows in, and if you don't catch it and you don't chase it, it will just fly away until it comes back again. And so that is the star of wonder and the star of light that I've been following all my life. And so the game, I hope I've been clear, it's a larger frame that gives you a wider spectrum. A mirror, a special mirror, sees back in the past, the present, the future, your lower vibrations, the higher vibrations, all of it. And it demonstrates over and over again. And you can add to this, I'm talking all the time, but if you have an intention and you hold it steadily for a day or a weekend, you will get the answer. You will be shown. You will move. You will have the opportunity to see something that you will be surprised, challenged, and stretched. It's always, remember, when I had my first experience, it's still the same for me. Well, I want it handed on a plate. If Anika is going to ask me these questions, you could at least tell me the answers that I'm supposed to give. What is the most up-to-date thing I can do to reach the people who are going to watch this conversation? Well, Joy, live your principles. Stretch up there, pull it down, and just intuitively, spontaneously do. So it's always a stretch.